Welcome everyone that's filing in. I'll give it another minute. We just hit the top of the hour, and then I'll go over a few things and we will get started. Okay, so I know that a few more folks are still filing in here. I just want to welcome you all to the New Jersey Association for College Admission Counseling virtual college fair. This part is incredibly important, and I'll make sure I put a reminder in the chat for all of you. But if you have a question for any of our panelists about the institution that they're talking about, or if you have a blanket question for all of them, the best way to ask that question is by the Q&A button at the bottom. So you'll see a little Q&A. And if you have a question, you click that and you can type it in, and our panelists can answer that throughout the 45-minute session. Each college or university will be speaking for about 6 minutes, and then we'll have a little question at the end for them to answer. Again, super important that you understand that your microphone is off, your camera is off. So the only way that you can communicate with our panelists is by using the Q&A or contacting them separately outside of this. You can sign up for more sessions. There are certainly more available. The same place that you signed up for this one, and then you'll see at the end when a survey pops up where you can sign up for more. This is recorded, so you will be able to access the chat, any of the information that our panelists put in the chat, any of the Q&A, and of course the video of their presentations at strivescan.com/New Jersey. We will start with Moyne College, LMC.
Good evening, everybody. I'm just going to give you a brief. I have the ability to share my screen, correct?
Yes.
I'm just going to share my screen for you really quickly so you guys can get a look at what Moyne is like. Can you guys see that good? Can I go to up or something?
I can see your screen.
There you go. So this is basically an overview of our campus. Beforehand, I'm just going to let you know who I am. So my name is Claudia Lavelle. So I'm actually one of the Moyne counselors on staff. So I'm the regional recruiter for the New Jersey area. I've recruited in New York City, New Jersey, Albany, Buffalo, Rochester. So I know a lot that goes on around Moyne's campus, as well as I am a Moyne alum. I graduated from Moyne in 2016 with a degree in psychology. I was a student athlete and involved in a lot of different clubs and activities on campus. So if you guys have any questions at the end, feel free to shoot, and I look forward to chatting with you at the end. But just to get into this is an overview of Moyne's campus. So Moyne is located in a college town just in the suburbs of Syracuse, New York. If you haven't been to Syracuse, it's roughly around 4 to 5 hours from a lot of major cities. From like New York City, it's roughly like 4 or 5 hours away. Albany, it's about 2.5, 3 hours. Rochester and Buffalo, we're roughly around an hour, 2 hours from those major cities. So Moyne is located in the suburbs. We call it our hidden gem. Roughly around 5 minutes from Syracuse University. Our campus is 160 acres. It's on a hilltop known as what we call the Heights, which we are home of 3,000 students total, both undergraduate and graduate. And this, I'm going to just go to the next slide. So that tells you a little bit about our campus, and our average class size is 20 to 25 kids, depending on your major. As you see, we have over 40 different majors to choose from. We are broken up in 3 different schools. So we have our Purcell School, and we have our business school, and we also have a lot of connections with schools in the downtown area for special programs. So some of our special programs we have here is our direct entry PA program, OT program, PT, master's level programs. with Syracuse University. We also have connections with Buffalo and Rochester schools as well. So when you're coming to Lemoyne's campus, a lot of students are looking, what type of involvement do we have going on campus? We have over 80 different clubs and organizations on our campus. We very much encourage our students to get involved and join some sort of club and organization. We usually host a club fair that goes on in the first couple weeks on our campus. So for students, and so incoming students coming into the campus, we strongly encourage them to get involved, join our club fair. We have clubs for almost every different major. So whatever you're interested in studying, we do have a club and organization associated with that major. About 85% of our students do reside on campus. So speaking to you guys, coming from a bit far away, residing on campus would be something that's really big right now. So we have very much different dorming halls. You actually start out as like your typical dorm style living with you and a roommate, and then it develops each year. So we go for your typical dorm style living with a roommate, then it goes to suite styles. We have apartments on campus, we have townhouses, and we have suites, and we also have houses off campus as well. Something else that's not on this slide I like to throw in all the time is some of the food options and dining options on our campus. So we do have our normal cafeteria for students to eat and dine in, where we have over 6 different food stations for students to eat. And then we also have what we call our Dolphin Den, which is actually in our academic building. So the ground level, our academic, we do have a dining area for students. I usually call it our late night good eats on Lemoyne's campus. And aside from the eats on campus, we do have a strip of restaurants right down the block from our campus as well. So if you're looking for good food, good atmosphere, a good environment, and a good community base, Lemoyne would be the place for you. And then some other options I just want to get into when it comes to what we're looking for in a student. So when it comes to us looking for a student, it's usually very simple. So we're looking for well-rounded students. We're looking at your application. We always say we're looking at it holistically with all the things that go into your application process. So we're looking at your recommendation letter, your essay. The average GPA for us is around a 3.4 to 3.5 GPA. We are a test optional institution as well. So, and due to COVID relations, a lot of our direct entry programs are actually test optional as well too. So if you are looking at that on our website, currently we do have our SATs and ACTs numbers there, but we are doing a test optional option for that currently. And then here's some information about our financial aid. We do have merit-based scholarships. We also offer this is our Promise New York scholarship, but we also have a scholarship for New Jersey students specifically, which we call our Dolphin Scholarship, which is an extra $10,000 on top of your merit-based scholarship. So our merit-based scholarships range from about $8,500 to $25,000 per year, depending on what your GPA, your SAT, and holistic view of your application is looking like. And then we put that Dolphin Scholarship on top of your scholarship opportunity. So we are early actions for a lot of schools that you may be looking at that may be early decision. We are an early action institution. So in our early action deadline is roughly November 15th for students looking to apply early. We are rolling admission as well. So if you don't have the time to get your application in and get that early action deadline, you do have the opportunity to do our rolling admission process as well. And this is just some small information that you can get. We are offering tours on campus. So if students are looking to take a road trip and see what Lemoyne's campus is all about, we do offer tours on campus currently right now, and we do have some virtual tour and information sessions going on that you can actually check out on our website. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to chat with me in the chat soon.
Thank you very much. And put any information you would like into that chat for our students. Next up, we have Lehigh University.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I assume you can see my screen, but I am Sarah Bombard. I'm a Senior Associate Director of Admissions here at Lehigh, and I'm really excited to tell you a little bit about our school. So at Lehigh, we say that we are built for tomorrow's challenges, and that means that our students and our faculty and our staff believe that opportunity is inherent in anything that is a challenge. It's not just meant for you to struggle, it's meant for you to tackle big issues and have an opportunity to do that while you are a current student on our campus. So to tell you a little bit more about what that means, I'll break it down. So our students are creative problem solvers. We think that, there's practicality in solving problems, and we encourage our students to do so from the first day they set foot on campus. We have a very collaborative culture, so it is not competitive, it is not cutthroat, it is not students working against one another. Instead, it's students who pursue things in a variety of different disciplines, working together, and who are involved in a variety of different ways. We all encourage our students to understand the way that their area of study and the things that they're involved with, how it can have an impact on humanity. So, one thing is that our students are creative and passionate, but we also want them to know and think about the way that they can use those passions to help others. We have a dynamic community. We intentionally create a diverse community full of students who are different from one another and foster inclusion and make sure that students have what they need to each individually be successful. And finally, we of course want our students to go out and do great things after they leave our campus. And so I'll talk a little bit about postgraduate success and what that means both for jobs and for a community after you leave. So most of you being in New Jersey are familiar with our Bethlehem campus. We're probably anywhere between 10 minutes away from where you live and about maybe 2 hours if you're down in the lower quadrant of New Jersey. But we also have a location in San Francisco, the Lehigh NASDAQ Center, which is home for a ton of amazing programs like the Lehigh Startup Academy. And it's also home to a lot of our entrepreneurial programs and ways for you to learn in a hands-on way. We have, as I mentioned, students who are interested in impacting society, and our diverse undergraduates really come from a lot of different perspectives. So we're a medium-sized research institution. We have both men and women studying on our campus. We have around 5,100 undergraduate students from 70 countries and 49 states. Of course, New Jersey is one of our most populated states as far as where students are from. About 16% of our students are the first person in their family to go to college, and about 25% of our students are students of color. In addition to that, we have about 9.5% of students who are non-citizens, so they come to us from abroad. We're really excited about the little microcosm of the world that we have built on our campus, and we're always looking to bring students with their own unique perspective, and we do that through a holistic admissions review process, meaning that we don't just look at your scores, we don't just look at your essay, we look at everything and what makes you you. Our students are active across disciplines, so you can see our colleges in that box there. We've got the College of Arts and Sciences, which is our liberal arts college within the university. We have our College of Business, a College of Education, which is actually a graduate college, and so you can do a 5-year education program at Lehigh and get a bachelor's and a master's degree. Our brand new College of Health, which is focusing on an area called population health, which is something you all know about, which is basically how different populations of people get sick or stay healthy. So this whole COVID thing is literally what they talk about. Epidemiology, pandemics, public health, really exciting things. We have our first class started that started this fall. And so if anything remotely related to COVID and the world that we live in and the things that you've gone through this past year are of interest to you academically, I urge you to look into our College of Health programs. And finally, we have the Roches College of Engineering. So being a smaller or medium-sized institution means that we're not too small to not have a variety of different opportunities. We are like your personal research university, where you are allowed to do a very broad study of a topic, or you're allowed to go very, very deeply, do your own original research or anything else that might interest you. We also specialize in studying across disciplines. So if you're thinking that you want to do multiple things, Lehigh might be the perfect fit for you. We're one of the few schools where you can do things like engineering and business, engineering and liberal arts, and still graduate in 4 years and get really, really unique degrees from it. We have a partnership with the United Nations. We're one of the few schools that is considered an NGO, a non-governmental organization. And so we have a great relationship with the UN since it's also close by in New York. And we also have a variety of international experiences, whether it's studying abroad, internships abroad, research abroad. You don't just have to be on our campus or over on the West Coast in our location there. You can problem solve academically in a variety of different places and spaces. Our students are very collaborative. We have an incredibly active student body. They are involved in clubs and organizations. You can see over 200 different ones. There's new ones each year. My favorite ones are the Cheese Appreciation Club and the Chocolate Club, but I also love food. Our students do incredible amounts of service, given that only 5,000 undergraduates attend. Doing 65,000 hours of service is pretty significant in any given year. We are a Division I school, and so if you're interested in being recruited to be an athlete, we could participate in the Patriot League. We also have great school spirit, in addition to some really fun traditions like racing beds, which is pretty unique, and a meeting of our rival Lafayette College, which is the most played college rivalry in the country. We're ranked number 7 with the Campus Pride Index for LGBT-friendly colleges, and we'll also be participating in that fair later on this month. So very briefly, to just cover the results after graduation, 95% of our students were placed within 6 months, and that also includes the class of 2020. So we just got the stats for that, and we were incredibly proud with how they landed in a very, very challenging year. 94% of our students have an internship or other experiential learning opportunity, and that goes for all students. Even if your major is English or finance or engineering, you will have an opportunity to have an internship. I'll very briefly end with just the contact information and counties for the counselors who work with New Jersey students. If you have additional questions, please use the Q&A. You'll see me all the way to the left there. Hello, if I'm your counselor, I'd love to hear from you. Please shoot me an email or send your counselor an email later this evening. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Next up, we have Lesley University.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to share my screen and then we will get going. Okay, so my name is Melissa Essman. It is really nice to meet you, and I'm excited to share some insight into Lesley University with you. Lesley is a small school. We have about 2,200 undergraduate students, but that does not stop us from leaving our mark on the world. We focus a lot on small class sizes. The largest you'll probably ever see at Lesley is 20 or 25. And they're even smaller within our Bachelor of Fine Arts or BFA programs. In a studio class, it's not unusual to see 9 or 10. We really believe that one-on-one mentorship experience and connection with faculty and student is extremely important. And most of our classes are actually discussion-based rather than lecture. It really allows our faculty and our students to dig deep and get to know one another and go a little bit further into the issues that they're passionate about. Excuse me. So there are 4 academic schools at Lesley. We have the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. We affectionately call it CLASS. We have the College of Art and Design, often referred to as LA+D. Those are our 2 undergraduate classes or undergraduate schools. And we have 2 graduate schools, the Graduate School of Arts and Social Sciences, we call it GSAS, and the Graduate School of Education. And because one of the things that we really specialize in are helping professions and the human arts, many of our programs, specifically education, social work, arts therapy, they do require graduate degrees. So there are natural built pathways for our students to move into our graduate programs and pursue their degrees. We have 35 majors in class and 9 in LA+D. 8 of those programs are BFA or Bachelor of Fine Arts programs, and 1 is a BA in art. We're most well known for our programs in business, education, psychology and counseling, art therapy, social work, animation and motion media, huge, fine art, illustration, graphic design, among many others, and a laundry list of majors and very easy ways to partner and pair programs across schools or within. Okay, so Cambridge is our home. We're located in Cambridge, Massachusetts, arguably one of the most academic areas of the world. We have some pretty formidable neighbors in that we do share some campus space with Harvard, and within Cambridge is MIT, Harvard, Tufts, and Emerson, along with, of course, Lesley. And then, of course, across the Charles River is all of the schools that Boston has to bring. So it does give you access to about 250,000 other college students for collaborative environments, networking, internships, and a lot of different other ways. Cambridge is a really, really unique, creative, vibrant, and energetic place. If you've never been, I strongly encourage you to come see us. And it's really rife with opportunities for professional growth, personal growth, and artistic opportunities. We are interwoven into the community, so we are just as much a part of the community as they are part of us. And it leads to a lot of wonderful interactions and opportunities for our students outside of the four walls of our classrooms. Okay, so Lesley is definitely not a one-size-fits-all type of place. It is not the place that you go if you want to disappear into the background or kind of do your own thing. Our students are typically highly involved, are craving that connection and that one-on-one attention. And we have a lot of ways to make sure that every student's experience is unique to them and that they're still graduating on time. We have more than 50 clubs and organizations and the ability to start a new one actually quite easily if that moves you. 14 Division III athletic programs and more. Community service is a huge part of our community. It's completed pretty regularly by all of our students. I always say that Lesley students are doing all of the things because they have their hands in a million different projects, activities, and opportunities. And they're making the most of every single moment. Okay, that extends into the internship and professional world. Every single student that graduates from Lesley is going to complete an internship, apprenticeship, or professional placement. At least one. It's usually 2 or 3. Part of that is because our programs, especially education, social work, counseling, things like that, do require 2 or 3. But even in our business programs or in our art programs, our students are hungry to make their mark and get their experience, and they're doing a really good job. And the brands and the names that you see on this screen are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what our students are actually, going into in terms of professional experience. And our most recent class is reporting 96% placement rate, either in their field or within continuing their education. So the application process to Lesley, despite what this screen suggests, this slide always makes me laugh, it's actually really straightforward. We have an early action or a preferred rolling deadline, December 1st or February 15th. We require your Common App, your essay, a teacher recommendation, a high school transcript. We are completely test optional, and if you are applying into a BSA program, we will need a portfolio. We do not require an interview or portfolio review. Strongly recommend it if you can take the opportunity, and I'll put my contact information in the chat. Last but not least, every student at Lesley does get some type of merit-based aid. It's based on your GPA at the time of admission, and it is in addition to any other type of aid that you're eligible for based on your FAFSA. We work one-on-one with families to focus on affordability and making Lesley attainable and accessible for all. And that's something that we are really proud of. And yeah, it's a very unique and very special place. And I hope to see you all visiting us very soon when we rejoin our community on campus.
Thank you so much. Next up, we're going to have LIM College.
Hi, thank you. Okay, perfect. I assume everyone can see my screen. Feel free to throw it in the chat if not. Welcome to LIM College. My name is Kara Schilder. I'm an admissions counselor here with LIM. Just to introduce you to LIM College a little bit, we are a business fashion college in the heart of Midtown Manhattan. So where better to really study the business of fashion other than right on Fifth Avenue itself. To give you a better feel of really what our campus is involving. Our undergraduate class at a glance is right around 1,400 students. That's across all 4 years. So we are really proud of our diverse student body. We are very proud to represent about 40 states on our campus and about 28 countries internationally. Recently, a study was actually done on our campus that shows we have 30 primary languages, which really just goes to show how global fashion really is as an industry itself. We really pride ourselves on being able to bring that global feel into the classroom while still keeping it small, keeping it niche, and keeping it within a community. So within our classrooms, you do have that 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio. All of our faculty and staff has either worked in the fashion industry prior to teaching at LIM College or while teaching at LIM College, which is one of the beauties of being able to study fashion in New York City. Fashion is so global that there are really so many opportunities to not only study within our country, but study abroad, go working abroad. So many people come to LIM unsure what part of the business of fashion they would like to go into. We don't expect you to know all of those different pockets of the business of fashion industry just because it's such a vast industry that you don't always have the proper lens into. So that's what our job is to help you. Our biggest, most versatile and most popular major is our fashion merchandising major. Our fashion merchandisers touch everything from right after the conception of the product, through product development, through the buying, the retailing, the wholesale, all the way until it gets into the consumer's hand. Within fashion merchandising, that's where I usually see our stylists, our entrepreneurs, and people who are interested in kind of starting their own clothing line or really their own business in general. Then we have other majors like our visual studies program, which is our most creative program. If you're really looking to marry that business with the art world, that's usually where I see my visual studies students. And we also have majors like marketing, management, which are a little bit more self-explanatory, but definitely necessary within that business world, all about figuring out who your target audience is, how to reach them, how to effectively manage a team, using those interpersonal skills and really kind of learning about that business background from the ground up. Like I said, fashion is so global, so many students come to us and say, Kara, I want to go international, so I'm going to go international business. The good news is that you can actually go international with any of our majors. International business more specifically deals with imports and exports of different countries, as well as really figuring out the customs and the cultures and how to really figure out that business deal. I always say that like doing business in Cuba is totally different from doing business in Spain, and you could mess up a deal before it even begins. That's the kind of waters that you'll learn to navigate in international business. And then we have our fashion media major, which is a little bit more like graphic design, really dealing with the media on both a digital and print landscape, learning a lot about fashion journalism. The really unique part about LIM is that all of these majors, while focusing on fashion, have that business background. So if 20 years down the line, you decide that your heart's no longer in fashion, you have this business background that can really take you through any industry. All of those skills are very transferable. The last major on this slide is the business of fashion. That is specifically for our transfer students. So we are a really transfer friendly school. There's obviously a lot going on right now. So whether you're not ready to commit to a 4-year college financially, academically, or just personally, it's not really time for you. Let's have that conversation about what the transfer process could potentially look like for you. Those are all of our bachelor's degrees. And we do also offer 2 associate's degrees, which is the 2-year degrees in both fashion merchandising and fashion merchandising and management. This, as you can see here, is a picture of our visual studies class, which is taking place in a studio. So if things that I said all sounded super interesting to you and you're really like, I can't decide between all of those majors, the great news is that you can actually minor in any of our majors. So while you can't double major, there is an opportunity to still kind of curate your curriculum toward your professional goals. And I've also put some of our more popular minors on this slide as well. Things like beauty, sustainability, event planning, fashion styling, as mentioned, is our biggest, most versatile, or is our biggest minor. The most fun fact that I just learned recently is that Beyonce's current stylist actually went to LIM and she was a fashion merchandising major and a styling concentration. So if celebrity styling, personal styling is things that you're interested in, that's definitely an option here at LIM, as well as liberal arts minors on the side. Truly about curating your curriculum toward your career goals. We do have a really heavy emphasis on the experiential education aspect. What better place to really study fashion in New York, and you kind of want to take advantage of those opportunities. So while some schools may require you to only take one internship, we actually require you to take 3. So that'll put you light years ahead of students who are studying fashion at other schools who may or may not have like 1 to 2 internships. You will have 3, which is the full working resume by the time you're ready to apply to real jobs after graduation. Some of you may be a little bit nervous about that job application process or even this internship process because you may not have professional experience on hand. The good news is that we will put you through internship seminars with our faculty and staff who again have worked in the industry prior to teaching at LIM or while teaching at LIM. So they've seen the best interns, they've seen the worst interns. They're really able to help you build that metaphorical tool belt. So by the time you have to go out into the fashion industry, you are more than prepared to tackle any of these internships. The senior co-op does happen in your senior year, so it'll be your 3rd and final internship before you graduate. We do have about a 53% graduation rate or employment rate from just the senior co-op, and that's not, that's separate from the 94% post-graduation employment rate. I'm using 2019 numbers just because our 2020 numbers have not yet been calculated. And I just want to put up here very quickly to summarize our application. We are not on the common application, and I always say because we're not a common school. So we do require all of your past transcripts. We are now test optional, and instead of an essay, we now require short answers. So if you are a senior that's applying for fall 2021, feel free to email admissions@limcollege.edu for a fee waiver for attending today's program. I'm going to put my email in the chat. So if you guys have any further questions, I would be more than happy to connect. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Lockhaven.
Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Caitlin Sweeney. I'm one of the assistant directors of admission at Lockhaven. So Lockhaven is start the PowerPoint. There we go. So Lockhaven is a state school within Pennsylvania. We can talk about academics, student life and support services, athletics, the app process, cost and financial aid, and then any questions, I guess, we'll answer at another time. So we have around 3,400 students, so we're a medium-sized school as compared to, larger Research 1 institutions or, smaller private colleges. We are an affordable education, even if you live out of state. So we have the most merit money that we've ever had for out-of-state students. So if you have a GPA of a 3.7 or above, you can actually receive $4,500 for your freshman year, and then that is renewable for an additional 3 years. Obviously, we live on campus for the first 2 years. It's required, which is a good thing, and then lots of alumni to help you for job placement. We have 3 different academic colleges. The most popular majors would probably be physician assistant. So we have a 3+2 PA program for that, physical therapy, 3+3 program with that with Widener University. And then education, obviously, because Lockhaven and all of the other PA state schools started out as teachers' colleges. And we have 100% job placement rate when it comes to pre-K through grade 4. And you're taught by faculty members. You're not taught by graduate assistants or teachers' assistants. You are taught by those faculty members with terminal degrees. So that means they are as advanced in their field. Internships are extremely important. So we know that, and we push all of our students to do some type of internship. Smaller class sizes, really important. And then lots of stuff to do. So, we have hiking trails on campus. We're located in a small college town. We're always trying to do some type of activity on campus. So whether we are showing a movie on the big screen or, bringing in a hypnotist or a magician. So lots of fun stuff to do. We have Chick-fil-A on campus, Starbucks on campus, and then all you can eat Mexican option for Upper Bentley, which is the buffet. You can also live in a suite at Lockhaven, so you don't have to live in the traditional residence hall where the bathroom's down the hall. If you want to have your own private bathroom, you can do that. So those are the 2 different options. Obviously it's more expensive, but we do have that for you. NCAA athletics, so Division 2 and 1, really, really popular. Also club sports, intramural sports, really whatever you want to do. And our application, it says waived for visiting, but it's actually free right now. So if you want to apply, you can apply at lockhaven.edu. And we are test optional. So the only thing we need would be your official high school transcript. And so you can see the tuition. So I don't know if this is in-state and out-of-state students, but even for out-of-state, like I said, we have the most scholarship money that we've ever had. So $4,500. So it almost cuts the $10,000 price in half. So we're happy to be able to afford you that affordable education. And also don't forget to fill out your FAFSA. So if you're a junior, you can start that starting in October 1st. If you're a senior, I would definitely encourage you to fill out the FAFSA right now. But we are open for in-campus visits. So if you want to come by, sign up for a visit on our website, lockhaven.edu. And then we are also now on the Zeme app. So Zeme. It's the most popular social media college app that's out there right now. So you can meet your roommate on there. You can make connections on there. So we would love for you to join. And I will put my email address in the chat if you guys are interested in learning more about Lockhaven. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. We are going to go in the same order, and I'm going to have all of you put your cameras on. And what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we're going to start with LMC.
Yeah, so quickly, I'm just going to tell you guys, stay connected. I feel like this world has been a lot of disconnect lately. Aside from Zoom, we have so many opportunities to stay connected with Moyne and the college opportunities. So whether it's via email, call, text, reach out, pay attention to your email because we're sending a lot of emails to you guys. If you're not getting any emails from our institution and you are interested in hearing more about Moyne, I would say reach out and stay in contact with us.
My advice is to try on a lot of different things, especially in New Jersey. You have a lot of great in-state options as well as Rutgers, but some of us are really close by. Some of us are a little bit farther away. Get in that car and drive up to Boston and see if that is too far for you to be from home if you don't want to be in a car that long. Think about being on an airplane. Do you really want to be, that far, different sizes? Because a school like Lehigh is going to feel really, really different than a school like Penn State, even though we're in the same state. So I encourage you to try different things, get a sense of what feels right, get a sense of the kind of environment that you thrive in, based on what you like to do academically now, the kinds of teachers that you like now, and then find colleges that will align with that.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. And I'm going to add on and just say, be true to yourself. Pick the school that suits you, not the one you think you're supposed to because it's where your friends are going. Where you're going to go in your career and where your friends are going to go in their careers may be similar, but you are all different people with different needs and different wants, and seeking different experiences. So don't be afraid to explore the school that's smaller or farther away or closer or bigger, even though it's not what everyone else is doing. There's wonderful opportunities at schools of all different sizes and all different types, and that's the only way you'll find the one that's right for you.
My advice would probably be, don't let your GPA hinder you from applying anywhere. This is a weird year. Last year was a really weird year. Don't be too hard on yourself and definitely go for those reach schools. Like Melissa said, totally stay true to you, but really think about what would be on a mood board if you were to create that, and think about kind of what you're looking for from yourself, from your future, and go to these info sessions, see who kind of clicks into some of those keywords, and maybe somebody that you may not have even thought of school-wise may connect with some of the pieces that you're thinking for yourself. So it's really helpful to kind of think about what you're looking for from yourself in the future and going backwards.
Yeah, like everybody said, I would just say go visit any campus that you might be interested in, because it's really important to see, like, can I see myself here for the next 4 years? you know, how long did it take me to get here from my house? Is that going to be comfortable for me? You know, do I want a rural setting? Do I want a small college town? Do I want a suburban campus? Do I want a city campus? Really think about what's going to be comfortable for you. And if you are from the city, you know, like for me, for Lockhaven, so we're a small college town. Do you want to experience something different? So I think that would be my best advice. You really just have to feel comfortable about where you're going to be for the next 4 years, or, you know, 6 years, you know, if you're doing a master's program, whatever.
Awesome. We actually have time for one more question, and this is a fun one. So if you could, in the same order that we just went, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
So I would say our Fall Fest on campus is one big event on campus that goes on at Lemoyne. We have a few different big events that goes on, but that is one of my favorite. I like the fall. So just that weather, that atmosphere, and having the whole campus get together and just feel like a great small connected community is one of my favorites.
So this is an awesome question because I did mention bed races, which are really unique. We were on ESPN Game Day a couple years ago because it's such a unique thing to do. The tradition started that our students would have to build beds and race them down our campus. If you don't know, Lehigh is built on the side of a mountain to the point where the inventor of the escalator is a Lehigh alum. So to say racing down the campus was dangerous, it was. It's a lot safer now. You have to wear a helmet, you know, lawsuits are expensive. So it's really fun to watch students race these beds across campus. There's no reason to do it. It's completely just for the fun of it. But the second thing I'll mention quickly, and I'll put it in the chat, is that we have this tradition called Chicken Finger Friday. Every Friday there's chicken fingers in the dining hall. It sounds dumb, but I love food and I love chicken fingers, and it's nice to know that you can always rely on a good Chicken Finger Friday. During Lent, they do offer it on Thursday in one of the dining halls. So our Catholic friends, don't worry, we'll take care of you.
So I think the most exciting thing that we do is kind of twofold. Lesley has a really phenomenal portfolio of art programs. So we always have gallery openings, and they're a really big deal, especially at the end of the semester when our students are showing off their work. There's cocktail hours and parties and celebrations, and you feel like a working artist. It's really exciting. And at the end of every academic year in the spring, we have a student film festival. They rent out an old-fashioned movie theater in town, and your family comes and friends come and students and faculty. And it's really exciting, and it feels a lot like something big. And students show their work, if it's 5 minutes or 30 minutes long, and they get to kind of get a taste of what it might feel like for them one day as they find more and more success in their career. It's just really exciting, kind of unique, and they make a special kind of popcorn. It just is very nostalgic, and everybody shows up for it and has a great time.
I would say that my favorite tradition / like the biggest tradition on LIM's campus is the annual LIM College Fashion Show. It does happen every year on Accepted Students Day. Typically, only accepted students will receive that free ticket. This year, actually, everybody can join us, which is so exciting, and one of the perks of the fashion or the virtual world. But all of their students get involved. The merchandising students will, get those looks from wholesale. From different showrooms and their connections that they've made over the years. The marketing students will take care of the sponsorship. There's a celebrity host every single year. Sometimes we're lucky enough that one of our students who are influencers will actually host the show. So it's kind of that LIM full community feel. But I just dropped the link in the chat. So if you guys are free on April 23rd, feel free to tune in. It's always such a fun time, and I'm excited to see what they're doing virtually this year.
Yeah, so I think mine would be, so we actually have like a golf cart parade during every alumni weekend. So all of the current students, they get together, we bring all these golf carts to our rec center, and they decorate it to like whatever they want. So whether it's a volleyball theme or whatever theme they want, and then they parade them like all over campus and downtown. And it's just like a really super special event. So that's probably my favorite.
Thank you. A great advice for all of our attendees. looking for the right fit for them for their college or institution. Thank you again, panelists, for sharing everything about your institution with our students. Again, remember, this is recorded, so you will have access to it. When you exit out of here, there's a quick 4-question survey that will appear. You can sign up for more sessions. And again, this is recorded, and you can find it at strivescan.com/New Jersey. And everyone have a safe and good night. Thank you so much.